afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann on RVN Television. If you haven't seen us before, our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. Maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or you feel stuck and you want to get unstuck in your business, job, or life. All of our guests have something in common with you. At some point in their lives, they felt similarly, and today is no exception. Please join me in welcoming Dave Erickson, multipreneur and CEO of Screaming Box. Dave describes himself as someone who likes creating and building businesses. It is fun for him to develop an idea, assemble a team, and get a business up and running on its, quote, own 2 feet. To call his background deep and diverse is an understatement. Industries in which Dave has worked include manufacturing, electronics, metals, plastics, design, product development, esports, gaming, software, web technologies, publishing, marketing, accounting, business strategies, contracts, licensing, brand development, and marketing in the US and internationally, including Europe and Asia. I'm not exaggerating when I describe him as a multipreneur. He's currently involved in 4 businesses, including Screaming Box LLC, web and mobile app development, of which he is co-founder and chief CMO, chief marketing officer. Also, You Need a Team, gaming and esports platform, for which he's an advisor, and Rainmaker Web Marketing Incorporated, an online community and internet marketing consultancy, which he's also the founder and CEO. Dave earned his BBA in marketing and computers from National University, and his specialties include all of the things that I mentioned above, including consumer electronics, consumer software, esports gaming, product development, solar, automotive, publishing, consumer hard goods, nutrition, and financial services. So I'd just love to know when he sleeps. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dave Erickson to our show. So yay, round of applause and welcome.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here and look forward to talking with you.
Awesome. So as you know, and as our seasoned audience knows, we start off after reading everybody's bio, and yours is incredible. We always want to know, what did you want to do when you were growing up?
Well, to tell the truth, I wanted to be an astronaut, but those don't always work out, and I had bad eyesight, so I couldn't get into the Air Force. But, you know, those things motivated me to do other things. And I had an acute interest in the science side of space travel, and so I kind of leaned more towards computers and computer programming.
I just lost my mic. So, you decided to go that route. How did you figure out that that was what was right for you?
Well, I was lucky in the high school that I went to. They had a great
Oh, wait, stop.
All right.
What happened?
Mic one, and then ask Dave that question.
Okay. It's like
Because I'll hear that fumbling.
the fumbling. Okay, so we're gonna ask this question again.
Okay.
No
All
problem.
right. So, So, how did you actually figure out that what you're doing now was the route for you?
Well, it just kind of happened naturally. Fortunately, I was in a good high school that had a computer lab, and I just started playing around with computers, and it grabbed my interest. And part of that was calculating orbits and other things. So I just got into it, and I fell in love with computers and ended up going into college, getting a computer science degree. But then as I was getting the computer science degree, I kept asking myself, well, what could I really do with it? And business was an important factor of any opportunities with computers. So I also got a business degree in business administration. And I think that the combination of those two really helped me get started. And I had corporate jobs. I had some jobs with Xerox and with a large contract manufacturer. And as a result of those, I got myself in a position to start my first business. My father is an entrepreneur. Both of my grandfathers were entrepreneurs. So I kind of grew up with the idea or the concept that, you can start businesses. It's not foreign. So an opportunity came along, and that was my first business. And Screaming Box is about my 12th business that I've been involved in. And, some have lasted 3 months, and some have lasted 3 years, and some have lasted 18 years, right? And Screaming Box is currently on its 11th year.
Wow.
So part of that is that entrepreneurial spirit, trying things, making them work, and succeeding, and then going through the life cycle.
Now, and it helps that you came from an entrepreneurial family. So out of curiosity, what was your first business?
Well, it was actually in contract manufacturing, and I partnered with some people to help them do some electronic contract manufacturing. That was a background I had, and I was involved in that business for 6 months, and then the owners of that business decided to go in a different direction, and that was perfectly fine. That happens.
Absolutely. And, with that in mind, 12 businesses and counting. I was going to say as of today, because you are a serial entrepreneur. What would you say makes you unique from others who are doing so many diverse things?
I like to think that I focus on the people I'm working with, and I have learned in business that every relationship is very important, and you have to treat people with a level of not just respect, but also kindness and understanding. And I think one of the skills that has made business better for me or more successful is I really focus on trying to understand the other person that I'm having a relationship with, whether it's a client, whether it's a supplier, whether it's a developer or a partner. I really try to focus very hard on what are they going through, how are they seeing the world, and to find out what are the things that are important for them. I think a lot of business people don't take the time to really understand the other person on the other side of the table. And I have found that by spending that time and focusing on it, it can be very helpful in business.
Yeah. So tell me about Screaming Box, or tell all of us about Screaming Box. What does Screaming Box do?
Well, we basically do any kind of digital development. This could be websites, mobile apps, back-end automation. We have a great automation and AI team. And so our main focus is to work with small to medium-sized businesses and to help them come up with solutions for their business challenges. And sometimes it may be as innocent as a business coming to us and saying, hey, I think I need to update my website. And me having a conversation with them saying, okay, usually updating your website is a reaction to another problem, and working with them, try to figure out what is their business problem. Why do they think they need to update their website? What is it that's really the issue? And there's so many new technologies and other things that are coming out every month that there may be solutions that can solve business challenges, either sales, marketing, order processing, customer service, any of the other things that could be a business challenge that are part of a website or part of a mobile app that can help you service your clients, customers, or vendors much better. So we help businesses try to find those solutions.
Yeah. It sounds to me like a portion of what you're doing is really business coaching.
Yes, that happens as well. A lot of businesses, they're trying to figure out how to solve a business challenge, and sometimes they aren't able to express what that challenge really is, and they may think that it's these other things, right? I don't have a web app, that's why we're not doing this, or I don't have a mobile app, so we could probably get more customers. If you look at what the root of the problem is, it's usually something simple and more higher, like I don't have enough sales, right? I need a mobile app to give me access to clients who are this way or that. And if you dig deeper into that and understand what their business model is, what their business strategy is, you'll come to a point with them where they're like, okay, I don't quite know. What do you think? Or what have you experienced? Or how can I help? And anything I can do to help guide them is something in the end is beneficial for us because it gives them clarity in what they need. And once they have clarity in what they need, then they can tell us, great, this is exactly what I need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and of course, while Screaming Box is one of your companies, and I love this, you also are an advisor for You Need a Team, gaming and esports platform. I'm not sure. I think we're getting ready to take a mid-commercial break. We are getting ready to take a mid-commercial break, or a mid-break for our sponsors. So, audience, please come back after the commercial break for more with today's guest, multipreneur Dave Erickson. Welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann and today's very special guest, Dave Erickson, multipreneur and CEO of Screaming Box and some other companies that he's actively involved in. As I mentioned before the break, let's talk about You Need a Team, gaming and esports platform, because esports is massively growing in popularity. And you serve as an advisor in that capacity? Or
Yes,
you are an advisor?
I actually had a company for almost 18 years doing esports. We basically developed a brand called the Fatality brand, and my job was to license that brand to Asian manufacturers, and we built more than 100 different products: motherboards, graphic cards, sound cards, cases, mice, keyboards, with a bunch of different manufacturers over an 18-year period until the license kind of ran its course. And I've gone to pretty much every esport gaming event all over the world. We even did an esport event on the Great Wall of China. So I have a lot of experience in that, and I work with some companies to help them do their esports because I seem to have a lot of experience in it. And I usually play a role of advisor or consultant. So if anyone's, trying to start a game, build a game, wanting to provide some service, infrastructure for gamers, more than happy to consult and work with them.
Okay, now, how does one host an esports event at the Great Wall of China?
Well, we literally had our trademark, who's one of the world's most famous gamers, Fatality. We flew him to China, and one of our licensees at the time, 8-Bit Computer, had a lot of a subsidy in China and a lot of sales there. And they found a Chinese gamer, and we literally had a shootout. We built 2 gaming systems, put them on the Great Wall of China. We had a stage and an audience, and they basically had a shootout between the 2 gamers on the Great Wall of China, which was a great publicity and marketing event.
Wow, I just wow. There's no other words to describe it. And then moving on, because in addition, you are founder and CEO of Rainmaker Web Marketing, Inc., an online community and internet marketing consulting company. So tell me how that fits into your otherwise really creative and busy schedule.
Well, actually, I started that business in 2000 and was doing a lot of marketing for corporations, mostly forum and community marketing, helping these companies engage with audiences and communities to talk about their products and market their products. I also, about 2 years ago, joined with a partner. She has a master's degree in journalism, and she's on the East Coast. And I was getting a lot of requests, not for that kind of marketing, but more helping startups and small companies create their marketing messages and create content flows and help them get their business started, which is something I really enjoy. and she enjoys the writing side of it. So we partnered, and so we now have Rainmaker Content Marketing. And so Screenbox and Rainmaker Content Marketing are kind of my focuses.
Okay.
Yes, some of my Screenbox clients, they ask me, hey, can you help us with our website content? You're building our website. Can you help us write the content? And so I pass that business on to Rainmaker. And Rainmaker sometimes has a client who says, okay, great, you've got our content flows going. We need some work on a web or a mobile app, and I can pass that work over to Screenbox. But in general, our targets are a little bit different. Rainmaker, I'm really focused on early startups, bootstrapping, friends and family, angel funding. They don't have a lot of funds, but they really need content. And so that's kind of a focus for us. Screenbox is more focused on established businesses and larger businesses who have other business challenges that are more technical.
Ah, okay.
So they fit together well.
Yeah, each has a specific niche, which is really awesome. And it's interesting that you went down that road. What would you say has been your biggest learning experience in this journey through so many different entrepreneurial ventures?
The best learning experiences are always the failures. So the businesses that failed, the businesses that didn't work, those are the ones I really remember. First of all, it's an emotional experience. You're putting your heart and soul in a business and it fails. But if you look at it objectively without a lot of the emotion, and it usually takes some months after a business fails where you can look back and say, okay, what did I really do? What mistakes were made? Why didn't it work? Those are the most valuable things that can occur. So I tell everyone who's starting out on their first or second business, the thing you actually are looking for is failure. If you don't fail, then that means something isn't right either, because nobody is that lucky that everything works 100% of the time, right? If you're struggling with a business, if it isn't working, those are the times where you get to really learn and grow. And those are the things I love about business, right? And also these things occur over time. So it may be that the first 5 years of your business, everything's great, it's really easy. And then after that, it all of a sudden becomes really hard and it's difficult to make the business work. That's where the learning occurs. And those are the things that are exciting for me. And over the 30 years that I've done business, I've had plenty of failures. And those are really the valuable pieces of wisdom that I have. And so when I'm advising somebody, I'm usually advising them from the standpoint, not so much of what succeeded, but what failed and how did I learn to make it so that it would work in further businesses.
It's interesting, the former president of India, who was I cannot think of his name right now, I know it's AP something, he's a doctor in rocket science. He actually helped create India's, I guess, aerospace program. He's quoted as saying, there is no such a thing as fail, basically, because fail means first attempt in learning. So you're right in there with the thought leaders on that process. In terms of, as we start to, believe it or not, start to run down our time, what would you suggest that someone wants to go into this, as you pointed out, almost daily evolving computer industry?
Well, it's really actually an exciting time right now because AI is coming in, but there's other things. And one of the things that's really important is that the ability to learn technologies is becoming easier. And one of the reasons it's becoming easier is stuff like what Rainmaker is doing. It's helping explain technologies to people. I have clients who have a technology product. They're coming to Rainmaker and to ask us, how do we make it so that a person who is not familiar with our technology or our services can understand it easily, right? And as a result, a lot of technologies that used to require going to school for many years to even understand and work with, now you can find a lot of information, YouTube videos, tutorials, classes on the technology that allow you to learn relatively easy. And I say this, one of my passions is women in technology. And the reason for that is my wife is a woman in technology, but also my young daughter, her dream is to become an inventor engineer. And I see a lot of barriers in technology for women entering the field. And for me, my passion is to make that easier, right? And so on learning technology and getting in technology, now is a great time. It's actually easier for not just women, but anybody, but particularly for women, to be able to educate themselves in technology very cost effectively, almost nothing, and to practice using the platforms that are out there for almost nothing, and to gain experience in the field so that you could actually do something with it. And I would advise anybody, particularly a woman, but also anybody else, to study and to find things. AI is a great opportunity. There are a lot of automation tools out there. There's a lot of different things that you can learn. There's so much material available. Put a little focus in it, put a little effort in it. You can still do whatever you're doing on the side, but an hour, a couple times a week, after several months, you actually could do something of value with AI, with automation, with computer technology. And that could give you a base to build a career from.
Mm-hmm. And I guess my last question to you would be, if you were the one doing the interview, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
Why do you keep starting businesses?
Okay, so let's bring it home with why do you keep starting businesses?
I really like the thrill of starting a business and trying to take an idea and figuring out how to make it work as a business and getting all the different partners and people together to kind of start focusing on how to make the business work. I usually am participating in 2 or 3 kind of business startups on the side, usually just helping to guide them so that they can go in a direction. And I really enjoy doing that, right? And whether I'm an equity partner or just participating as an advisor, I like that part of the business where you're creating something and then getting it to work.
You found your why. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your journey with us. And for those who are interested, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
Well, you can either go to screamingbox.com or you could go to rainmakerweb.net, and we have contact forms there, and you can get in contact with us through those URLs.
Awesome. So thank you again for joining us and for sharing your very multifaceted journey to helping others through your creativity. So, as for our upcoming guests, you really don't want to miss any of them either. As mentioned in past episodes, we're booked through March 24th, and we can officially confirm that we're returning for a 3rd season. Our upcoming guests include business owners, coaches, authors, technology experts, entrepreneurs, former professional athletes, and people who overcame seemingly insurmountable challenges. Believe me when I say you really don't want to miss what any of our upcoming guests have to say about their journeys. And if you missed any of our past guests and want to check out what they had to say, you can catch up on all of Season 1 and Season 2 to date on the What the Why page of RVN Television's website, which is rvntelevision.com. You have so many viewing choices these days, so thank you very much for watching our show, and please tell a friend or colleague about us. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as Mondays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're also available on demand on RVN Television and Roku, and coming soon to other platforms. And also, please remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life, no matter how big or small, please join us again for more inspirational and informative conversations with people like Dave, who wanted to pursue many, many, many different opportunities and overcame whatever challenges or obstacles were in their paths to find their purpose and live it.